Today I'm going to show you two pro hoof trimming tips. One is specifically for using nippers, and one is kind of an overall hoof trimming tip that you can use no matter what hoof tool you're using. This first tip is about nipping, and I'm going to teach you how to follow your own nipper cuts so that you have a smooth cut all the way around the hoof. I'm going to show you on this foot, and I'll show you on one other foot too. So first, wherever I start, I'm doing a nipper cut. Now, for the next time, instead of moving it all the way over and trying to line it up, I'm not going to move my nipper blade all the way over. So the back part of the blade here is where I already trimmed. But that way I'm using that part of the hoof that I already cut to guide my next cut to make it nice and smooth. Now, there's not a ton of height on this hoof wall, so I don't know what a great example it will be. Easy, girl. But here I am, I'm following my own line. And this is a bit of a thin part of the hoof wall. I wasn't taking off a ton. But here it's all smooth. And on the hoof, I cut it down the same height all the way because I just kept following it and moving it over. And if there's enough hoof wall height, you could go all the way around the hoof like this. Now, I didn't really need to take height off at the toe, but you can see there's not a height difference in where Now I'll show you on this back hoof the same thing I'm talking about. I'm just using, this is such a small amount of height to take down. I don't know if it's going to be a good example. Now I'm going to use the same example, but this time I'm doing it at a little bit of an angle, doing my bevel. And there's such a little amount to take off. It's not coming off in one piece, but I'm just moving my nipper part way over, and I'm using my previous cut as a guide. So you can see how smooth that came out. And I can do it all the way around I can do it to take height down or to bevel like that. So I'm going to come here, following my cut, and I'm taking off the same amount. It's making a really nice and smooth cut. Now this side I'm just going to rasp because there's not as much to take down there. But you can see by following my cut, it's not super jagged. I just have to rasp and like finishing touches it, but it's not like there's a bunch of different levels on the hoof after nipping. If you love learning about hoof care and you are ready to take your hoof trimming journey to the next level, I just put out a mini course that teaches you how to rasp and maintain a bevel in between professional hoof trims. It's the perfect intro to get more confident using hoof trimming tools. You just use a rasp and a hoof pick, so you don't have to learn nippers or any of that stuff. The cost of the tools is very low, and it's a great way to start getting that confidence about hoof trimming, becoming more aware of your horse's hoof health and signs to look for. And there are so many benefits that come to helping these hooves be more healthy when that bevel is maintained all the time. And then you can even go sometimes longer in between having your professional come out. I'll put the link in the comments and in the description of this video so you can learn more about it. Tip number 2 is all about keeping the hoof stable. So whether you're using a hoof stand or you're not using a hoof stand or whatever tool that you're using, you want to keep that foot as stable as possible. So this mare here is pretty short, so I generally don't put her leg in between my legs and hold it. So whether I'm balancing on my knee here and I'm rasping, I want to be using this hand to hold the foot really stable, because if I'm not holding it stable enough to be moving, it's not going to give me as accurate or smooth of a cut. So I'm going to hold it like this and rasp. That's going to give it a much smoother action. Same thing if I am nippering. Now I need 2 hands to nipper, so typically I would put her leg in between my leg, or if I am doing it like this, like say she's really short or I'm working on a mini, I'll sometimes hold the leg like in between my body and my leg and nip like this. I do that for minis a lot. Whatever you can do to stop that foot from wiggling around. It's the same thing if I'm using my bonsai nippers or whatever tool I'm using, and I can do this. So same theory. With the foot between my legs, I can hold it really stable. This is the most stable, but she doesn't love to do this, and she's smaller. But this way, I have both my hands free, and this foot is not wiggling on me easy. So even here, if I'm not holding it in between my legs or kneeling, I'm gonna hold this foot Like grab it all the way around and brace in between my leg and my hand so that when I rasp, it's got as little movement as possible. Now for a back foot, using the hoof stand, again, I've got both my feet on here, and I'm also balancing or bracing with my leg here. This way, as I trim, whether it's nippers, or if I want to take a wider stance, I've still always got at least one foot on the hoof stand, and here, using my hand to balance it even more. You see the pole hoof is moving when I rasp it. If I'm holding it, it doesn't have that movement. To rasp this, I'm gonna hold the foot stable and I can do my bevel. See, if I didn't have the foot stable, it's knocking it every time. Here, I've got a taller horse here. So I'm gonna take this leg, put it in between my leg here. Now I've got maximum stability. I can use both hands and this foot is not moving. So whether I'm using my nippers or using a rasp, this hoof is staying nice and still.